welcome back to our channel that we've neglected for the past 5 months of van life. So what we're gonna do,
we are still married.
We are still married. Van life hasn't ruined us. What we're gonna do is we're gonna catch you up on the past 5 months. We're gonna talk you through it. We're gonna show some clips, then you'll be caught up to real time, and then we will be sharing videos much more in real time. So Ryan, let us begin.
We left in August.
We're getting ready to leave.
This is the maiden voyage.
This is it. We got the boys in the back. Got us up front. We're ready to go. We're a little nervous.
Let's get going to Kansas City.
Woohoo! Kansas City!
Took 35 hours driving.
All the way out to Washington. We had a wedding in the Midwest. We drove to Washington in 5 days. I would not recommend doing it that quickly. It was very hot, very sweaty, and just getting used to van life. Like the first week out on the road, like it was fine, but it was scorching hot. Got to Washington. Ryan had his golf clinic. I had my first couple of days, you know, by myself in the van taking care of the dogs while it was hot. I wasn't completely by myself, you know, the whole days, but we'll show some clips of me at the park, me sweating in the van, waiting for Ryan to get done. It was a good time. It was really hot yesterday, and I was just nervous about having the dogs, it being really hot, and driving in a completely new area, which is like going to be the story of our lives, so I'm gonna have to get used to it, but everything was fine. Found a dog park, hung out there, got the dogs all exercised. I'm actually back there now. Ryan is on day 2 of his golf clinic. The dogs are taking a little afternoon nap. Then we headed to some great camp spots. We had some really solid campgrounds, saw some friends while we were in the Seattle area, went out to Olympic National Park, got a sweet camp spot. Like
Camping on the beach, it's pretty cool.
Camping right off of the beach. It was amazing. We lucked out. Murphy loved the beach, loved the sand. Insert in photo of Murphy like living his best life, because he was living the dream. Then we made our way down south. We had a few days in Oregon at another amazing camp spot. At this point, we had been moving almost every other night, sleeping in a different spot, and it was just wearing on us. It was getting really tiring, so I almost had a breakdown and was like, I need to be in the same place for several days in a row. So we found a lovely camp spot, so much space, so much room. They had outdoor showers. It was beautiful there.
It was really cool.
The town that it was in was a little sketch, so I'll link to the camp spot. If we found it through HipCamp, which is an app. I'll link to that in the description below. But the town itself had little to offer, but the camp spot was great.
The pizza was kind of expensive too. I remember that.
The things that we remember. So after that, we made our way through California. We're into September now. We saw friends in around the San Francisco area. We had planned on going to Tahoe during that time, but as soon as we stepped foot into California, the wildfires started to go crazy, and it shut down all of the national parks, all of the national forests in California. Also, seconds into being into California, a rock hit our windshield and cracked the glass.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Which was a fun time. So we did take the coast highway down because we wanted to see the scenic views, which was incredible.
It was neat.
Lots of amazing views, but we didn't really think about the difficulty in finding camp spots along the coast because it was just a lot of smaller coastal towns. So lesson learned, you know. Made our way through California. Then we got to see my family in California. We went to the Hannah Winery. If you are familiar with our story, my cousin Hannah passed of leukemia in June of 2020. And this was kind of their first trip, family trip, after she had passed. And so we wanted it to be special. So we went to the Hannah Winery. My cousin's name was Hannah. And it's spelled the same way as her name. So we had a lovely time with them, got a little break from the van, stayed in an Airbnb. Air conditioning was supreme. Then we had even more time in wine country with our friends Matt and Sarah. Our friend Sarah is just an adventurous one, and she did a 50-mile race in Sonoma County. So we were there supporting her, cheering her on. So proud of you, Sarah. Way to go. And then we drank wine, and like, she earned it because she ran a 50-mile race. We just drank wine. So by then we were a little wined out because we had drank a lot of wine.
Way more than we usually do.
In like a 2.5 week period.
And during that same week, our campground we were staying at almost burned down from a wildfire.
Pulling in, we saw some smoke. So we pull into our campsite. Go ahead.
Maybe a quarter mile from the camp?
Yeah, it looked very close to camp. So we pulled in, and the owner of the campground was like, there's been a fire. They're putting it out. They said right now we don't have to evacuate, but like,
maybe be ready.
but be on alert. I don't know what to do. We don't have a ton of stuff to pack up, so we could pack up pretty quickly, but it's kind of scary. Okay, literally 2 minutes has passed, and I went to the bathroom, and you can see the fire. So we are gonna pack up in case we gotta get out of here. Okay, we packed everything up. Ryan is going in to ask the owner of the campground like how to get in contact, if it's okay to come back. And my concern is if it goes a certain way, it could block the road, and then there's literally no way for us to get out. So I'd rather take precautions and just go elsewhere because we can, even though we're planning to be here for the next like 4 or 5 days. We're just gonna leave. It's like 6 o'clock. We've already had dinner. And we're just gonna go into town and hang out until we know otherwise. What did she say?
She was up in their house, I think. So I didn't
We need to turn out the lights.
Didn't see her. I'll do that when we get in town.
Do you want? I'll just do it.
It's okay until we get to town.
What did she say?
She didn't say anything because I didn't talk to her.
Oh, she was. Sorry.
So, as we're driving out, maybe we'll see her. And we'll just say, we're gonna go hang out, maybe in town. Call in a little bit.
Wait, oh, she's right there.
I've asked them a couple times. They've said no.
Okay.
So they think it burns up uphill.
Okay.
The only thing is camping rooms when they're coming down, but there's plenty of veg.
Right.
Whatever you guys want to do that you feel comfortable with, let me know. If you're like, we're out of here, I'll give you your money back and you can go somewhere else.
Sure.
We're gonna probably head into town, assuming that is relatively safe, and then maybe might just call you back and
Is that okay? Yeah.
just to see how.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, people will ask. Let them know you talked to Kelly and Michael and everything is fine.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't like that noise.
Yeah, that's a creepy noise. Happy anniversary.
That's what we're saying. we're gonna go into town. What town, we don't know.
It's a town of, well, the closest one is Kernville.
That's the thing, I don't know. Do we go to that town or do we go to a different town?
Sorry, cops.
Just the newbies in town.
My bad.
Yeah, let's park in the back. It's probably an hour later.
Yeah, 7:15. I don't know what time it was when we left. Sun's starting to go down.
And the commotion is over. So it's safe for us to go back to our camp. That was an interesting time. Came back, saw a lot of smoke. Apparently the fire was right next to our campground. Literally, we could step outside of our van and like see the fire. Then we ventured our way down even further into California. We were gonna stop in LA. Had a potential COVID situation. It was not a COVID situation, but we thought it might be COVID. So we had to like kind of delay our plans. So we went to Palm Springs, trying to wait it out to see if we tested positive. We ended up getting our results very delayed. So we basically did 2 trips to the desert in Palm Springs. Did not stay in the van because it was over 100 degrees. Then we made our way to San Diego. As soon as we drove into San Diego, we just had really great vibes. It was just a lovely time. San Diego's very van life friendly, so parking, that kind of situation really wasn't that much of a stress. I got to see my friend Jamie and hung out with her, used her for a shower. Thank you so much, friends who let us park and use your showers. You're the real MVPs. So stayed in San Diego, went to a dog park. Again, Murphy got those beach vibes. Winston enjoys the outdoors. It's not that he hates it. He's just a little more skittish. Whereas Murphy is our adventurer of the family and is honestly the one that has thrived the most during van life. What else did we do? Then when we were done in San Diego, Palm Springs, we headed back towards the Midwest, back to Texas in October because we needed to do some van upgrades. By this point, we had lived in the van for 2 months, and honestly, within the first week, we kind of knew the updates we wanted to make.
We are back in Dallas, and we are starting upgrades. I have pretty much unpacked the garage. Got a couple things done already. Our dog den is removed. As you can see, it went to about right there. So that allows us to walk in much more easily. And then the other thing I did was turn this fan off so you can hear me. This guy had a couple magnets coming loose, so I put some construction adhesive right there to keep that magnet on. I turned the fridge off so that I can defrost it and put on our new door since it broke off earlier, pretty much like a week into living in it. So that is a couple things I'm doing. And then right now I'm gonna be working on finishing up the heater install. One of the other things we want to do is figure out how to make this bed a little bit longer this way. And if I do that, potentially I take this off and move this somewhere over here. This control module for my heating system will have to move, so still need to do some pondering. We're gonna cover up the window frames, finish those out. Cover up the corner here that's exposed, figure out what we want to do with this wire, and we'll put a little fan up here as well. Covering that up will be part of the bed extension. We'll probably finish out this area with a little bit of storage. Now, Murphy likes to sleep right here, and the bed's just a little bit too high. He can't jump up in the bed. So one thing we could do is make a step here, and if I make the bed big enough, then it's maybe not as big a deal if he is in the bed with us. So still need to work through the design phase on that. Yeah, there weren't too many of them, but there were two big ones, which were giving ourselves a little more room in the kind of the hallway of the van to take out a little bit of the bench we had built, and then to extend the bed. Made a big difference.
Yes. So we had to head back to Texas for several reasons. Van upgrades, and then also Ryan got called for jury duty literally days before we were leaving for Washington. We got it delayed until October. I also was hosting a retreat for my business. That was amazing. Ryan did get called for jury duty. He went in, he got selected. Of course he did. Won't tell you about the case because, you know, we can't, but it was riveting, believe me. And then at the end of October, also in October, I got an eye infection, so that was cool. I couldn't really use one of my eyes. It was completely, like, shut. I'll spare you the details in the video of that. Then at the end of October, we went to spend time with our family around Halloween. That is Hannah's birthday. So we went up there, and then we abruptly changed our plans. Thought we were going to go back out west immediately, and we just decided it makes more sense to stay on the East Coast. So we headed to Asheville, North Carolina. What would you say was our opinion about Asheville, North Carolina?
Lovely. Absolutely loved it.
Amazing camping spots. Oh my gosh, when you guys see these spots that we woke up with, like, it was just so incredible. Love the mountains, love the Asheville vibe. Went to the Biltmore, hung out with one of my clients, stayed with them for a bit. So we were a little, like, in and out of the van. Like, sometimes we were staying in the van, sometimes we were staying at, you know, people that we know. Then we tried to go to Charleston, did a quick 12 hours there, realized Charleston is not very van life friendly. So love a Charleston vibe, but it wasn't worth the hassle. We hadn't really planned anything. Like, we'll come back, but
we'll try again later.
We'll try again later. So we decided to head to Florida, specifically the Florida Keys. Now, this is where it gets dicey. We made our way down through Florida, and we were planning on staying at the Florida Keys through Thanksgiving, and then like a few days after. And we were just planning on staying in Florida half of November, and then basically halfway through December before we'd come back up to the Midwest to spend time with our family for the holidays. Here's what happened. Winston got sick the night before Thanksgiving. We were not at our campsite yet. We drove to our campsite the next day, Thanksgiving Day, after we had went to the laundromat and literally washed every piece of fabric in this van. It went downhill. He was not doing well. So we drove back into Miami to take him to an emergency vet because we were on the Keys. We weren't all the way out to Key West, but we were like halfway in the middle of the Keys, and no vet could take him on the Keys. So we had to drive 3 hours back into Miami, take him to an emergency vet. We were there for 6 hours. It was very stressful. We cried. It was not a good time. He got sent home with a probiotic. We were like, okay, we'll go back to our camp spot. All is well. Had a nice little lunch. We got drinks. We were just like feeling ourselves. Then it went downhill again, and it was getting worse. And at this point, it was really scary. And we were just at a point where we didn't know what to do with Winston. Like, he needed help that we could not give him. He was dehydrated, he wasn't eating, he wasn't drinking, and it was just bad. Again, I will spare you the footage from that time because it's just not good. So this was super stressful. We got him back to the vet. We booked a very expensive Airbnb in Miami to just like have some space, like have some time to figure things out, figure out what our next steps were, because basically all of our plans that we had already booked, all the spots that we had booked, like we just couldn't commit to them. So we decided we need a little break from the van. Let's go back to the Midwest early, have some time and space to just breathe and catch up and like get reinvigorated, because I'll just say it was not an exciting time to be in the van.
Yeah, it wasn't. Plus it was an extremely expensive week too.
It was very expensive. So Winston is fine now. Everything is good. Murphy never got sick. If you're new here, Winston is our younger dog. Murphy is our older dog. I would have been a lot more concerned if it would have been Murphy, but like the last night before we went back to the vet the second time, it was no bueno. Not good. So that brings us to the holidays. We went back, we spent time with family, we just stayed in our family's houses, just like took a break, needed that rest, caught up on things, did a few more like van tweaks, upgrades, just like getting things like really good. We were not ready to quit van life by any means, but we knew we needed a break. So that brings us to now, basically. We spent the first week of January just doing a lot of work stuff. Ryan got hired full-time.
Officially.
In my business. And we just like was doing a lot of like that kind of stuff, figuring out where the heck we were going to be going in the van, coordinating that kind of stuff. And then now we are on the road. We have been driving for the past several days. We did a swoop down in Texas to drop off stuff at our storage unit. Driving for the past several days to get to San Diego. And Ryan, would you like to share why we're going specifically to San Diego again, even though we've already been there?
So for my birthday, Brittney gifted me with tickets to go to the Farmers Insurance Open in San Diego, which is at Torrey Pines. It's a golf course that I've played twice before. I really liked it. We just enjoy San Diego. I'm a big golf fan, and so it was a really awesome gift to go to a PGA tournament.
We always love an excuse to go to San Diego, so this is the best excuse. So heading our way back out west. So happy because what is the temperature right now? We are at a crisp 66. That's what we like to see. So the plan is to stay out west for the foreseeable future. Southern California, Arizona, Nevada. We've got a bachelor party in Vegas in the middle of March. I say we, like I'm attending it, but maybe I am. But besides that, we really don't have any commitments until the end of June. So we're just staying where the weather is nice, staying on the West Coast, and that's what the plan is. Do you have anything else to add?
Nope.
Alright, so that is where we are at. That is the updates. I know our original plan was to kind of share more real time from the beginning, but it was just a lot to get used to living in the van, a lot to get used to filming ourselves, a lot for also me to like run a business and like keep things sane and also like have a personal life and you know, all those things. So we have a new system now set up for us that we're going to try to be more consistent with. If you want more real-time, updated in the now updates, definitely follow our Instagram, Life with the Lens. I share on stories a lot more there, but we're going to try to keep this YouTube updated. So that is the update from August until mid-January of 2022, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
We made it.